What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Trick 10s. Now today's episode is going to be a little different. This is my personal bass tracker PT190 right here behind me. I've got some upgrades for it. I'm going to take this thing out in the water tonight. So I'm going to show you guys what I got. First off, I'm going to tell you how I got this boat. If you don't already hate me, you're going to hate me once you find out the deal I got on this thing. This thing is sweet. It's a 2015. It's got the 90 on the back of it. It's 19 foot long. It's a big boat. I mean, it's in great shape. When I originally bought this boat, I bought it in 2018. Now I paid $9,000 for this boat motor and trailer. The kicker about it is that the motor only had 19 hours on it when I bought it. It was basically brand new. The Blue Book value on this boat is well over $17,000 in the shape it's in now, and probably gonna be a whole hell of a lot more than that when I get done with it. I maintain all of my boats very well. I take care of them and clean them. I always take care of my stuff. But the interior of this one was in bad shape when I got it, so I haven't really kept it up. Now, as you can see, the seats are starting to crack in here. When I first found this thing, there was a rat living inside of it. It was just chewed up right there. There was mice up in this front compartment up in here. The outside of it was still perfect, but it literally had 19 hours on the motor. It's set for 3 years, uncovered. And on top of that, there's a badass tracker cover right inside of that compartment that the rats had turned into a nest and chewed holes in it. Now, I got the thing repaired. I've done a lot of work to it since I've had it. I mean, originally I bought it just because it was a killer deal, and I was just gonna clean it up and flip it. I mean, it looked amazing when I first got it. I power washed it and got all the carpet cleaned up really well, and it was in a whole lot better shape. I fished it a couple times, and ever since then, I knew there was no way that I could sell this thing. It was just too nice, and I would never find another deal like this probably in my entire lifetime. So I'm gonna keep this boat for a very long time. Now, obviously, I plan on doing a lot of modifications to this. It's my personal boat. First thing I wanted to do was to set up all my electronics and just get everything like that squared away in the boat. And then the next step, I'm gonna eventually come back and I'm gonna tear all the interior out. I'm gonna replace the seats. I'm gonna put new turf in it. I'm gonna put, some different compartments set up in the front, because it's kind of stupid the way they have this set up. This whole thing though, probably looks pretty familiar to you. This is exactly where I got the idea for King Neptune build. This rod locker, 2 big storage compartments on either side. Basically, I just want to cut these storage compartments out and add more, make more storage compartments. It's going to be very similar to the King Neptune build once I get into it. But today, I'm just going to be installing this Panoptix Livescope Plus. Now, I did just pick this up, and I am not familiar with this, but I'm going to go fishing tonight with a good buddy of mine, and I figured, what the hell? I might as well go ahead and slap this in here. I've had this for about 2 weeks. I just haven't had time to put it in the boat. So I'm going to put this black box up inside the compartment over there, because one thing about this boat, the compartment on this side, which I really hate, is a live well. Now, I don't know why we would need a live well up here, and it's not even very big, when you have a live well right here in the back, in front of the back pole seat. So this is just kind of stupid for someone like me. I mean, I guess some people would like it, but I hate this. So I'm definitely gonna be removing this, and I'm gonna add a big storage compartment in here later date. But I'm gonna put the black box on the other side. That's the only storage compartment that I have really in the entire front deck, really in the whole boat. I'm gonna put this box inside of there, and I'm gonna run these wires up here. Now, all this stuff up here, this is all custom made. I built all this. This is my Altera foot pedal tray that I built. It's got the 2 cup holders in it. And the only reason I did that is because the original tracker foot pedal tray is longer than the standard ones, because it does have a cup holder in it and plier holders in it. So I figured, what the hell, I might as well just go ahead and leave it the same way it is instead of trying to box it up, and we'll throw some cup holders in there, and it works out perfect for me. So I like to have my ashtray up here and a spot to hold my drink. And then I built this dual graph bridge right here. Now this one is just a prototype. I never really went into production with this. It's just something that I needed, so I built it. I've got my 93 Garmin SV on the bottom and my Garmin 106 on the top, and these things sit perfectly. It's tall enough, but it's not too tall, and it's exactly the setup that I was going for when I fish. I love the way it looks, and I love the way it functions. Now, the way I have this set up now, I have this Altera on here, which I like this trolling motor. The self-deploy factor of it is really the coolest thing that I've ever seen, but it does worry me. A couple of times I've had it out and it acts like it doesn't want to go all the way out, and it just scares me that one day it's not going to. And I know how to take the thing apart and manually pull it up, it's a pain in the ass. I'm not trying to deal with that. So I hope that that never happens. But the main issue I have with this Altera is this foot pedal. Now, it's cool, it's all, you know, wireless and everything. The only issue I have with the foot pedal is that it doesn't actually move. You barely push it. That's all you get. And it's either down or forward. It doesn't actually stay in either direction. It's only a momentary switch. So when you got your foot on the trolling motor and you're looking out fishing, it's not like you know if your heel's down or if your nose is down, then you know which way you can turn the trolling motor. You got to look at the head of the damn trolling motor every single time to know which way to move it. So I mainly just use this thing for spot lock. And with this trolling motor, it makes it very difficult to add transducers onto, because the way it deploys, you know, the whole shaft has to slide right through the bracket. So you can't do a traditional trolling motor unless you run it around this right here. And I'm not worried about it. It came with the standard 2D transducer in it, and that's what I have hooked up right now. I have that running to my bottom graph, and then I also have the top graph, which is running off of the back transducer. And that's the way I've ran it for a while, and it's good. I can use my down scan, my sonar, and I can spot fish. I can put myself on the fish that way. But I always had the idea of putting the Panoptics in here. That's why I went with this dual graph bridge. I'm gonna put the Panoptics up on the front, and then the bottom one, I'll be able to switch between this 2D and the transducer off the transom. I'm not a big bass fisherman. I do a lot of river fishing. This boat, 95% of the time, is just me and maybe a buddy fishing in the river. And I use this thing as a grocery cart. We go out there and we slay and we bring home the meat and put it in the freezer to feed the family. And like I said, I mainly use this trolling motor in the spot lock when I find a good spot to fish. Now I'm gonna put this transducer for the black box on this bracket right here. You guys might recognize this. This is the bracket that I made originally and put on King Neptune bill with SB. And it was just literally thrown together last minute out of crap I could find laying around in the garage. But it worked. And I think I'd rather have it on a pole. I'm not gonna keep this thing in there forever. I'm gonna upgrade to something else. I'm just gonna put this in here so I can play around with it, try to get a good location and all that, because I don't wanna put any holes in the top of this gunnel right here. I like the fact that this thing is nice and clean. The entire boat's powder coated, so I really don't wanna attach anything in here. Eventually, once I get done with it, I'm gonna come back and probably have a wrap on top of this, at least some type of decal sticker package like in the King Neptune build. So I'm gonna probably build some type of little bracket. I'm thinking maybe just like a Z piece that would come up and can mount down to the front deck, come up and over, and then I can mount this arm onto that with the transducer, something temporary. This thing is only gonna be in here for me to play around with it and get an idea and a feel of where I wanna put it. And then I'll either upgrade and buy a different mount like this, or I'll build something. I've got to figure out what I need first though. So I'm gonna try to get this stuff installed in the boat, because like I said, I'm going fishing tonight with my buddy in the river, and the trout have been on fire, the striper, the redfish. I'm trying to take this thing out, and I'm trying to spot some of those big stripers that are sitting down on the bottom, underneath the bridge, around the pylons, and I'm gonna try to put some in the boat. I'm gonna get this stuff hooked up. Let's get back to work. All right, so I got all the wires ran to this thing. I tested it, turned it on, look. Panoptics, shows up on the screen. I'm assuming that means it's working. I guess I gotta put it in the water and find out. Now, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with this transducer. I'm gonna put this thing on a pole. I guess I'm gonna have to mount it over here somewhere on this side. I think that'd probably be best, I guess, I don't know. I'm gonna play around, I might put it on the other side, but I'm gonna get this thing put together on the bracket and installed onto the pole, and then I'm gonna see which side I'd rather have it on. Let's get back to work. Alright, so I got my bracket cut out, cleaned it up, now I'm going to bend it. I got a new finger brake too, I just haven't brought it home yet. This is in my dad's garage. This thing works, but the one I just picked up is a little bit wider, a little bit bigger, it's a lot nicer. This is just temporary stuff. Playing around with this thing. Want to figure out exactly how I want it. Who knows? I might not even like it on the stick. Pretty simple. It's going to go just like this. This part's going to go on the deck. I'll screw this into the deck. It'll come up and over my rail. Attach the ram mount up here. We ain't got to put no holes in my boat. I'm not worried about the deck because that's wood and I'm going to tear all that out eventually. But I ain't putting no holes up in the actual hull of the boat, especially on that top gunnel. Perfect. Let's go get some holes in here, get this thing installed in the boat and go fishing. Alright, so you can see what I did here. I cut some pieces of this extra turf I had left over and just stuck them on here because when I stick this up on the side, I'm going to push it tight up against this side of the rub rail right here, and I don't want this thing scratching up my boat, so that'll protect it. And also, if it gets hit or bends down at all, it'll protect it from scratching the top of this. I've only got 3 screw holes in here, but I mean, this thing worked out pretty good. It's going to put it up there, it's going to hold it in place. It's going to be good enough for me to get out in the water and play around with it and see if I even like it like this. I'm going to go ahead and screw this in, then I'm going to wrap up all the rest of this, put everything back the way it needs to be so I can go fishing. Yeah, it's perfect. And it's got some pushback on it that way. It's only an 1/8 inch bracket, but once this thing's deployed and hanging over the side, it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be awesome. It's getting windy as crap out here. Cool, so you see what we got now. We'll be able to move this thing around. Hopefully it'll be good. When I'm done with it, just loosen it up and lay it right up on the deck. It'll be perfect. Let me get all this stuff cleaned up and put back together. Let's get back to work. All right, well there she is. Pretty simple. All made out of leftover parts I had laying around in the garage. I'm excited. I mean, I know this is kind of chinky looking, but it's gonna get the job done. I'm gonna go test it out tonight and I'll let you guys know how it works. I'm probably gonna continue this video right now, actually. Let's just go fishing. Let's just pack it up. Let's go fishing. Eventually I'm gonna redo this and probably buy a mount or something, but let's go put the boat in the water. It's literally like 77 degrees outside today and it's November 5th. I mean, what the hell is going on? I'm not complaining, I love it, but it's really weird. Let's go put this thing in the water, guys. I'm ready to go catch some fish. Cool. I can actually use my bungee here for my rods to hold the thing down while I'm running. Let's go fishing. Who's dumbass? The no wake zone. He just hauling ass right through there. Oh, those are fish.
Yeah, those are good sized fish right there. Whatever those are.
I don't know what the hell they were.
You even see your lure on there?
Yeah, see right there? Pop, pop.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
And they let it drop right there. It's going right down to where that fish is at. See him?
Look at mine going down. Look at.
Yeah, I'm right next to you.
Look at this. Oh, that's cool as hell. I'm man, that thing is sensitive as hell, man. Got him?
Got him. Live scoped him and got his ass, bro. Yeah, I saw him fucking move right into it, bro. This has got to be a red.
Oh shit!
He's right there, dude. The net has it's a striper. The net has a strap on it.
Oh, no wonder.
You get the strap.
Oh, look at you!
Oh my god! Come on, baby.
Come on! Oh my gosh, this thing here.
Take that.
Yeah.
Oh. Dude, that was insane. I watched the lure drop right on his head.
We need to go back to that spot, dude. Just all night.
Dude, I seen him sitting there and it literally dropped it on his head, man. First live scope.
I know.
Fishing trip, first live scope catch.
That is fucking awesome. Your mouth, dude.
Got him.
There you go.
Awesome, bro.
Woo. Yeah.
Nice.
Want to get a picture with you?
Striper.
Here. Hold on, let's go back there and do that again. That was deep, too.
That was, he was sitting right on the bottom. I seen it and I turned it just enough to where I could drop my lure right on his head. And sure enough, he just hit. Like, I didn't even see him move. He was just on.
Amazing, man. I got it.
I can't believe we just did that. All the times I've been out here fishing, getting skunked like we're doing right now.
Yeah, now you can just fucking...
I never fished the deep middle part like that.
I know. Look at those striper just stacked in there.
All right, so we're gonna go back and hit that same drift. Hopefully you guys can see it on there, but there's a bunch of fish over here. And I literally watched my lure drop, and I wasn't even sure if it's a fish. It's the first time I've used this thing, but he was just lit up spot. And I was like, hey, it's gotta be a fish. And literally the lure dropped right on his head, and he was on. I don't know if I just pissed him off or he was actually hungry or what, but he was sitting in 46 feet of water.
You were right over there.
Yep. He was in like 45, 46 feet of water.
That's a deep fish.
All right, so you guys saw I just caught a fish on the live scope. It's pretty cool. I linked up with my buddy John Guzman, and to be honest with you, we fished for like 3 or 4 hours and we only caught that one fish. The night was slow. It probably would have been a bust without that live scope. So I will say that that thing saves a fishing trip. It is something that I'm really excited about. I know it's not new. It's been around for a while. It's new to me though. I haven't had a chance to use it, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it definitely was neat to be able to drop, you know, the lure and see it going down under the water, and then to see the fish just hit it and It's just a different ball game. Now, it's expensive. I know that. I know that all these electronics are expensive. I've got over $8,000 worth of electronics just in this boat. I didn't buy them all today or yesterday. It took me a long time. But in my opinion, the Livescope, it's definitely, it's worth it. I mean, without it, we wouldn't have caught any fish tonight. I'm gonna have a lot of fun playing around with that thing. I'm gonna try to really figure that thing out to where I could zone in and see exactly what I'm looking at. It's like anything. I'm sure that I'll get better with it as time goes on and I learn how to use it. But it is an amazing tool to have when you're fishing, because you might spend all day at your spot and there's no fish there. And the best part is you can explore new spots and you know instantly if there's fish there or not. You don't want to waste your time at a spot that there's no fish at. Anyways, look at this fish. Very nice fish. It's not huge. He's like 22 and a half, almost 23 inches, but he's a good eater size. I'm gonna cut this bad boy up and put him in the freezer.